The following is a presentation of S.C.State Athletics.
After 2 open weeks, the South Carolina State Bulldogs return to action this week to take on the Delaware State Hornets in Dover, Delaware for their MEAC opener. With a win, Bulldog head coach Buddy Pough can tie South Carolina State Hall of Famer Willie Jeffries in career wins with a win over the Hornets. Will the Bulldogs rekindle their early season success and deliver their beloved coach a record-setting win? We are about to find out. Coming up next on The Buddy Pough Show.
You are watching The Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of S.C. State University Bulldogs football. This week's matchup, your S.C. State University Bulldogs versus the Delaware State University Hornets. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, State Farm Insurance Russ Hewitt Agency, Simmons Funeral Homes, Vital Care EMS, and the City of Orangeburg. And now head coach Buddy Pough and our host Ernest Robinson.
Back-to-back weeks off in college football is a rarity. It was just what South Carolina State needed. After wins against Wofford and Lane and then a tough physical loss to South Florida down in Tampa, the Bulldogs used the time wisely. It gave them an opportunity to mentally refocus and get prepared for a trip to Dover, Delaware in their MEAC opener to a place where it's always been tough for MEAC opponents to win.
We've been off for so long now until, it's a strange kind of feeling, but I'm excited about being back and glad that we're, here in Delaware getting ready to play a game.
What were you able to find out about your team over the course of the off time to get prepared for the MEAC season?
Well, not as much as you would find out if you were actually playing real live games, but at the same time, we did try to work a good minute of our guys on some of the fundamental skills and just developmental kind of things. It was a time when we actually worked a lot of our young kids and got them some good hard-nosed work and tried to get some of those guys to mix. We started to try to mix a couple of those guys in. Patrick Godbolt, who I talked to you a little bit about last time, is going to be able to play a little bit for us today. So, we're trying to figure out now how to get as many of those guys involved as we possibly can. That was the big issue.
Offensively, of course, Tariq Nick played a lot of quarterback at the beginning of the season. But of course, kid from Baptist Hill came in and played well as yet. But when you start talking about this situation, talk about your offense, changes you might see or things you might have grown to now.
Well, we like to think that we will have a better chance of running the football now, and you're going to see us go under center a little bit more, get into a regular formation on some of our goal line and short yard stuff, which is new for us, and we worked a good bit on it. So we're looking forward to, seeing exactly how that, pans out for us. And then defensively, we had an opportunity to try to work to maybe put another concept or two in coverage-wise, ways that we can kind of tighten down and maybe add a couple guys to the box, put a few more guys, in the run defense. So, those are things that you experiment with doing those kinds of times. The intensity is not quite the same as a game. We actually put them in this week and see what happens in a real live game.
All right, injury-wise, you had some people banged up going in. Shaq Davis was hurt. You had some other kids hurt on the defensive side. What about injuries, and were you able to heal and get some people back?
We think we got pretty much all those guys done back full speed. Dominguez Wilson had surgery on his hand, I think, the Monday afterwards, and we're thinking that we're going to get him back for next week's game. So without that situation, we'd have everybody back. So right now it looks like we've got a pretty good, healthy football team.
What's it going to take to get a win here tonight at Dover, Delaware, which has always been a tough place to come up here and play, especially at night?
We think we're going to have to run the football, and we think we got to stop the run. If we can do those two things, then we think we're in pretty good shape.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go to Saturday's first half highlights, South Carolina State and Delaware State. Dylan wears number 41, and he approaches. It's a high end-over-end kick. It'll shade toward Charles Peeler, who'll field it at about the 8-yard line, fumbles it, muffs the kickoff return, gets on his feet, gets across the 25-yard line. Two receivers to the right, two to the left. Football's on the far hash as they attack right to left. Inside handoff again. This is Dallas. Right up the middle. Dallas fights for about 3 yards. Looked like he wasn't going to get that much. Going back deep for South Carolina State will be Demontrez Burrows, the senior from Charlotte's North Mecklenburg High School. Martinez under pressure gets it off, no contact, and this is going to go high and hit down at the 5-yard line, and it's going to curl back, and what a nice punt by Martinez. Nick, a quarterback. In the backfield with him is LeBron Morris. And this is the keeper up the middle at the 20, 25, 40. Tyrese Nick at the 50. Turned around. Tyrese Nick faked the pitch outside and came back up the middle. Lone setback is Datron James. Shotgun snap. Looking long is Tyrese. Throwing it out there. He's got a man out there. Shaq Davis touchdown. South Carolina State. Tyrese Nick to Shaq Davis. Josh Pringle will snap. Dylan Bredesen will try the point after. Snap good. Holds good. His toe is in it. It is up and it is good. So with 12:01 to go here in the first quarter, South Carolina State has drawn first blood. It's South Carolina State 7, Delaware State nothing. Delaware State will have it first and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Shotgun formation, split backfield for Del State. Dallas running it up the middle. Coming in there, Shaq Crouch taking up some room. Crouch comes in, first opportunity to play this season. Looks like a little bit of a pistol formation with Datron right behind Tyrese. Shotgun snap. He keeps himself, does Tyrese. Over the right side, across the 45 to the 40-yard line at the 35 and out of bounds at about the 34-yard line of Delaware State. Shaq Davis goes wide to the left. Burrows is on the boundary side in the slot, and to the widest to the right side on the boundary side is Wolverine. Inside handoff, Datron. Datron across the 25, fights down to about the 22-yard line. That's another 12-yard run, a 41-yard field goal attempt. This year, Bredesen's longest is 27. Pringle snap is good. Bredesen's toe is in it. It is up. It is long enough, and it is good. End of the first quarter of play here at Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware. And our score, South Carolina State 10, Delaware State nothing. Football's on the far hash. It's got one receiver to the short side. That's to his right, two to the left. Inside handoff for South Carolina State. That is LeBron Morris, and LeBron Morris breaks through all the way up to the 44-yard line. Pickup of 13, and it's really good to see LeBron do that. He's a redshirt junior out of Decatur, Georgia. Hand off again, LeBron, right up the middle. LeBron breaks through the midfield and cut down at the 45-yard line of Delaware State. Another 15-yard pickup for LeBron. Second down now and 7. Back to pass to Nick. Throws it out in the flat. Thomas Rodriguez makes the catch, spins upfield at the 30, at the 25. Thomas Rodriguez down to the 22-yard line. Long snap count. Back to pass Nick. Straight drop back press coming. They throw it out long. It is caught over there in the end zone, I think. Touchdown, South Carolina State. What a nice catch for the Bulldogs.
That's Burrows, isn't it?
DeMontrez Burrows, and we talked about Burrows in the sure hands. Bredesen's toe is in it. It is up, and it is good. So with 13-10 to go here in the first half, South Carolina State has opened it up a bit. It's South Carolina State 17, Delaware State nothing. Shotgun formation for the Hornets. But they gives it to Dallas, and he is knocked down. My goodness, I think Shaq knocked the offensive lineman back into the back. Line of scrimmage looks to be the 13-yard line. Moody's right back at about midfield. Good snap. Martinez gets off a nice punt. Moody fields it at the 48. Across the 50 at the 45 at the 40. In Del State territory, steps out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. So Moody, who we really want to be the punt returner, has had a problem fielding punts. They put him in. He fields it and gets about an 18-yard return out of it. Now Tyrese moves Traquan to the left. So we've got two each way. Shotgun snap. Nick, quick throw, caught by Shaquan Davis. Breaks the tackle, tried to the 30, got down to the 29-yard line. And he is going to be shy of that first down marker about a yard. One receiver each way. Tight ends to the right on the line of scrimmage. Handoff, they give it to DePrince. DePrince Haynes gets through, gets pushed back. It depends on whether they spotted this.
They say no.
I don't think he got it.
Wow.
And he did not. Bulldogs showing blitz up the middle. Bulldogs are coming. Bethay's back to pass. Got to throw it quick. Got a man out there. A lot of pushing and shoving. Knocked away. Scotty Robinson. Big defensive play over there. Moody's problem as a punt returner, though, Bill, is not that he doesn't have good hands. He tends to try to catch it in his chest or next to his body.
And that's not the way they'd want you to catch it.
No. And here we go. And Moody's going to have a chance. And this is a good punt by Martinez. And Moody lets it hit, and that's what Moody does. That is what Moody does right there, and that is not good. It bounces all the way back to the 11-yard line.
My goodness.
Shotgun snap, here comes the blitz. Nick's got to hurry, throws it out there. It's too high. It's intercepted by Delaware State at the 31-yard line. My goodness, Shaq Davis just picks up the defender and slams him down. And I guess he's
right in front of the official.
You know, I guess he's getting his WWE on, but that does not work in college football. So it's a 42-yard field goal attempt for Martinez. High snap, they get it off. It is up. It is long enough, and it is good. So Martinez from 42 yards out with the field goal. And the score at the half, South Carolina State 17, Delaware State 3. We'll be back with more of the Buddy Pough Show and the all-heart player from this week's game after these messages.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance, you're also giving one.
I was off my game. Every day, my hip got worse and worse.
The coach's arthritis progressed to the point where his joint was bone on bone. Between the pain and the loss of range of motion, he decided to have the hip replaced here at the Regional Medical Center.
I was walking the very next day. I was going so fast. They said, "Slow down, coach, slow down." It feels great to be coaching again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about health care.
You stumble over a blade of grass. Come on.
Coach, you look at Saturday's first half, it couldn't have started any better. You came out and it looked like we didn't miss a beat from the standpoint of offensive production. You go right down the field in 1 minute and 15 seconds and score, and it was a long drive, only took 3 plays.
Yeah, it was a kind of an unusual kind of drive, but we got the football on about our 1 yard line, maybe somewhere in that neck of the woods, got up to about midfield in the next play. I think we might have gotten it in. We might have had another play or 2 in there, but it wasn't very many at that point. Then we went in the end zone for 7-0 lead.
Bulldogs come back and move the football down and then get another field goal. It looks like you're going to be very efficient, Coach, and that was fine. We're up 10-0, but all of a sudden that efficiency kind of went out the window.
Yeah, you know, I don't know exactly how we lost our mojo there toward the end of the first half, but for some reason we couldn't make much happen there for a while. And then we started to kind of break a little bit bend, I guess, at that point on defense. But, you know, we eventually got out of the half, I think, leading somewhere in the neck of the woods of 17-3.
You start talking about this football team, of course, you started. Delaware State, playing at night, Coach, has always been a tough place mentally to play, and you just got the feeling that you never could put this team away, at least in the first half.
Exactly right. We didn't necessarily ever feel comfortable, and I'm just kind of looking at the scoreboard, and the clock looked like it was never going to run down, but, you know, we did eventually get through it. But now, you know, this place has been traditionally a tough place for us to play, and at night it's always, you know, doubly hard. So, you know, we are appreciative of the fact that we got the win. You know, I told our guys after we got done, you know, congratulations and thank you. And at that point, we move on.
It was kind of ironic that you got a little boost at halftime. Marshall McFadden, who works for a NASCAR team, the Chip Ganassi team, comes in at halftime, and he's kind of fired up to see this football team play and, of course, to try to encourage him after they got kind of down going into halftime.
Hey, I started to grab him and dress him out for a minute. I thought the guy was looking pretty good there for a second, but at the same time, we were glad to see Marshall. You know, he's working for one of the NASCAR groups. I don't know much about NASCAR, but they tell me he's one of the big-time guys, a tire change or something like that. You know, our guys.
He's a fuel man. He's a fuel man.
He's a fuel man.
He's a fuel man.
Excuse me, a fuel man, and he's here in Dover, Delaware, for the race tomorrow.
All right, Coach. 17-3, South Carolina State leading at the half, Coach. But of course, we start talking about this. It's time on the Buddy Pough Show for the Palmetto Health injury report. Banged up a little bit, had some guys, some banged up injuries. Talk about that.
Yeah, we got a couple guys with some bumps and bruises. Shaq Davis, our wide receiver from down in Somerville, South Carolina, hurt his knee somewhere toward the end of the first half, and you know, we were trying to be real limited about how we played him from that point on. I think he played a little bit at the very end, but not very much more from there. LeBron Morris, our running back from Atlanta, had a little bit of an issue, you know, with his leg. And, you know, that was, you know, something that we just kind of, you know, put another guy in there. And then we had a little bit of an issue with B.J. Davis. Yeah, B.J., I think B.J. just throws his body around so much. He's such a reckless cuss until he sometimes just kind of knocks himself crazy. It was a cramp slash, you know, whatever else, you know, you could have in those kind of situations. I think he'll be back next Saturday. Hopefully all of them will be.
That's your Palmetto Health injury report for the Delaware State game. We'll take a time out here on the Buddy Pough Show and come back with more after these messages.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
All right, Coach, this week's all-heart player, you have no further to look than the guy who's been leading this football team the last 2 years, number 3, Tyrese Nick from Johnston, South Carolina.
Tyrese had a whale of a football game here this Saturday against Delaware State. He threw 5 touchdown passes. He rushed for about 100 yards, a little over 100 yards, I think. So, you know, he had a fantastic game, and there were some really big plays in there. He made some throws that I wasn't sure he could make. So I can guarantee you he'll give me a hard time next week about some of the efforts that he had this Saturday. Tyrese Nick, our all-heart player for Delaware State.
Tell you what, Tyrese Nick played a great game for South Carolina State, the all-heart player this week. We'll take time out here on the Buddy Pough Show and have more after these messages.
My first thought was, what is going to happen to me? Am I going to live? My second thought was, I needed to live because I thought about my children.
Betty's mammogram showed a lump in her breast. We surgically removed the cancer.
And Betty was referred to Mabry Cancer Center, where she received chemotherapy and radiation therapy.
It was an opportunity to live again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about healthcare.
Today, I'm cancer-free.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance. You're also giving one.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
Vereen now goes in motion to the left. They throw it out in the flat. They flare it out to him. Vereen across the line of scrimmage at the 45, at the 40. Vereen breaks free at the 35, at the 30, 25-20, 15-10. My goodness, Will Vereen, where did that speed come from? 50 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Touchdown, South Carolina State. Dylan Bredesen on for the point after. Pringle will snap. Quincy Hill will hold. Snaps high. Hill gets it down. Bredesen's toe is in it. It is up, and it is good. Bulldogs on the board, 24 for South Carolina State, 3 for Delaware State, 4 down linemen for South Carolina State. Dallas is the tailback for Delaware State. They give it to him over the left side. Good penetration. Bulldogs wrap him up, and they're going to lose yards. Looks like the first guy to get there was Goodwin, and also in there was Cornelius Walker. It's 3rd down and 12 for Delaware State from their own 32-yard line. Shotgun formation to Malik Bethea. Back to pass. Throws a slant over. It is caught. And picking up the first down. Looks like that is Gross on the catch. Long snap count now for Bethea. Inside handoff, Dallas. Knocked down in the backfield. B.J. Davis. And I don't know what they told you about B.J. Davis, but, man, this kid's only a freshman. 3rd down and 6. 3 Hornets to the right, 1 to the left. That's the boundary side. Quarterback looks like, but they wanted to draw it up. Brian Dallas makes the move, and Dallas drives forward. What an individual effort by Dallas. 2 receivers each way. Shotgun formation. Actually, I got that from Coach Harrison. That's what Coach Harrison says. Rolling to the right is Malik Bethea. Bethea looking as a man out there in the flat, caught at about the 35-yard line and thrown out of bounds. 4 down linemen for South Carolina State. There's a snap. Bethea back to pass. Throws it over the middle. Slant. That was a play that they dropped and could not get in the first half. Vereen is to the right. Burrows is in the slot to the right. Furthest to the left is Shaquan Davis. Play action fake, reversing out is Nick, and Nick throws the football, and that football is loose and recovered by Delaware State. Harris looks like that 35 and not 30 in the backfield. Can't see that number. Back to pass, Bethea throws it out in the flat. Has a man out there caught. That's Colley. Colley trying to get forward. Colley fighting for that goal line and gets knocked out of bounds, and the penalty marker goes down at the 2-yard line. Dallas at running back. Bethea's the quarterback. Shotgun formation. They give it to Dallas. Dallas gets into the end zone for the score. Due to some technical difficulties on the Buddy Pough Show, we were not able to record all of the second half. But the score, the final score, South Carolina State 38, Delaware State 24. All right, Coach, second half, you come out from the locker room, you get the opening kickoff, and you come up with a play that we hadn't seen before. Will Vereen looked like Demick Kemp coming out of the slot over there, catches a flat out of the backfield, goes 50 yards for a touchdown, and we score in 11 seconds.
Would you believe if I told you that was the same exact play that we ran the first play of the first half? Really? Also, it's just that the first time he, ran the football, because he was out there, we just didn't throw it to him. And the second time, we threw it out there to him. So, it was a combination of the same play, and you just saw another progression of it, but you're exactly right. It was a great play for us. He was out in the flat, it's kind of like bubble screen, in a dressed-up manner, and he got it, and he ran, and he scored.
We talk about this game in the way that the receivers caught this football, but 5 touchdown passes from quarterback Tyrese Nick. That breaks the record set by Marvin Marshall, who a lot of times people refer to as quarterback deity at South Carolina State. That puts him in some high cotton, Coach.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if Tyrese is breaking his passing records, then you can pretty much bet that his running records are all gone because you can bet that Tyrese Nick can run. He's the best runner we got on our team, regardless of the fact that he's a quarterback. So I'm proud of the fact that he's really starting to develop his passing game. I gave him a hard time about a route that I didn't think he could throw right at the end of the game. And he said, I can throw anything. I said, well, good enough, let's see it. And he goes out and he hits it. So I say, okay, then, yeah, you got it. So,
You know, you start talking about Tyrese Nick, Coach. How much did the improvement of Corey Fields over the first 3 games, how much do you think that affected Tyrese Nick to kind of motivate him to elevate his game?
Oh, it's giving him a little inspiration to go on about the task of being a better passer, because this guy can really throw it. And, you know, and they both kind of feed off of each other in a way where, you know, they kind of like to see each other play some too. So we really wanted to get Corey in the game for a series or 2 during the game, and the situations just didn't lend themselves to it. But at the same time, both those guys are really developing and coming along, and they get along really nicely together.
Talking about the Delaware State game, the Bulldogs kind of ran into some bumps and bruises in the 3rd quarter, Coach, where we stumbled a little bit offensively. But when we needed to come up with a play to kind of extend it and make a 3-score game, you're able to come up with a play.
In a hurry. We had a couple really good drives that once we, you know, started to move the football out on the field, really felt like, let's see if we can go out and end this thing. But, you know, we couldn't ever seem to really get them put away that way. But I can tell you that I was proud of our offense in a way where they scored, we came back and drove it down the field and scored, and made sure that we kept having some distance between us, at least in a way that we weren't, you know, in any real danger.
It was a tough week for South Carolina State. The Bulldogs get the 38-24 win over the Delaware State Hornets in Dover, Delaware. Coach, it was a tough week for the Bulldogs because we as a Bulldog family lost someone this past week that was really close to this program. Former athletic advisor and, of course, a Board of Trustee member, Brantley Evans, passed away, and it made it a real tough week for all of us here in the program.
It did, and Brantley was also the brother-in-law of one of our assistant coaches, Gerald Harrison, and the Harrison family, the Evans family, you know, are near and dear to us in the program in very many ways. So, you know, our hearts go out to that family, and we hope that they can, you know, work on through this situation in a way. But I'm sure they know that we really feel a sympathetic ear, you know, to anything that we need to do for them at this time.
For South Carolina State, the Bulldogs return to the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium this week. Coming up, Florida A&M comes to town. This is an improved Rattler team, and we've got our hands full.
Florida A&M beat up on North Carolina Central at home today on their homecoming. So, you know, we'll have our work cut off with Willie Simmons and his outfit in Orangeburg this week. ESPN will be there. It'll be a TV game. You know, we've got a lot of pomp and circumstances. Youth Day, you know, that's always a big crowd. So we're excited about the fact that everybody's coming in there, and hopefully FAMU, you know, will bring their whole big crowd, and we'll have a big sellout this coming Saturday at Bulldog Stadium.
All right, folks, we're hoping to see this week coming up at Bulldog Stadium, the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium, when the Bulldogs take on the Rattlers of Florida A&M. And, of course, next week right here on Fox Sports Southeast on the Buddy Pough Show.
Thank you for watching the Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of S.C.State University Bulldogs football. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, State Farm Insurance, Rescue It Agency, Simmons Funeral Homes, Vital Care EMS, and the City of Orangeburg. Join us again next week for highlights of S.C. State University Bulldogs football.